Good.
Back here at the vault for a twofer tonight, the Derringer boys, moments away to talk the wide world of sports, but we begin talking Potter basketball. So the last 8 opponents, you hold them under 50, but then you hold this team under 40, and you're under 40, and you win it with a buzzer beater from Mr. Conrad in overtime. Why slow-mo? What was going on that night? Creek.
Yeah, Dunleavy, obviously, like we talked before, you know, Hall of Fame coach, he knows how to win basketball games. He slowed the pace down. He made our big boy come away from the hoop, made him play some defense. We weren't shooting the ball well, so to start the fourth quarter, I held the ball for 2.5 minutes, or 3.5 minutes straight. No dribble. Obviously, it was a questionable call, but it worked out for us in the end.
Thing of beauty.
Yeah. Some might say that. That's not the style of basketball that I like to play, but I don't know, it's tough. Like I said, Dunleavy's been doing it a long time. He knows how to win games. I mean, he can win games with anybody. And, you know, like I said, we didn't have it going on, but we still found a way to, you know, gut one out and get another win.
I'm really happy for you. Now, Coach Haney up next, Newtonville, they've got 10 victories. They're undefeated in the conference. It's a non-conference game. But on the road, you're going to be on the road quite a bit over the next few weeks. But that's still a great rivalry. I mean, and whether it's football, basketball, it doesn't matter. There's that natural rivalry.
Oh, I mean, I think the Big Red rivalry is one of our biggest rivalries. Honestly, it's always a great game. It's always a great atmosphere, especially down at Steubenville. They always bring a great crowd. Their team always brings energy, and I think it could be a good one. Hopefully the weather cooperates, and you know, we can have some fun, and it be a good one tomorrow night down at Big Red.
All right, let's just talk about history and tradition, and you're all about it. In fact, Jimmy Joe sent me a picture of you when you might have been maybe 5. You were dribbling, you had the Potter gear on, and I was just thinking, this is your whole life. But everybody wants to leave their mark. Everybody wants to take it to that next level. Where do you think this program can go? And when you think of history and tradition, it really has to go a long way to compete with some of the history of the past, but anything's possible, especially in the world of social media.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like you said, history is huge. The tradition here is huge, but you know, as far as where the program can go, I think the sky is the limit. I mean, if we get the right people on board, we continue to improve our youth program the way we are. You know, we start to play these better teams, and we start to travel a little bit outside the area and really up our competition. You know, up our off-season weight training, and I think this team and this program can go as far as we want to take it.
You know, one of the things that kind of I don't know, makes my wheels spin is this whole thing about, you know, certain schools recruit and they get the better athletes, and all of a sudden they move in. My friend Mike Barisky gets talked about all the time. And listen, Coach Miller back in the day, you know, he had some great athletes that moved into the Blackhawk School District. But I don't think I'm telling tales out of school. When the mill was booming in Midland, there were athletes coming from all over because Dad got a job at that mill. Right. Bottom line is this: when the pottery industry was booming in this community, Dad got a job, Mom got a job, they moved into the district. So this program, if it takes a giant step and some industry comes back, and obviously with what's happening with the cracker plant, population and numbers, and that is one of the reasons why people are attracted to certain school districts, especially with a winning basketball team.
Absolutely. You know, I think maybe we're kind of seeing that a little bit. Last year, I said this before, East Liverpool graduated from what I'm told the smallest class of all time at like 99 kids, and I think it's this sophomore junior class has over 200 kids. So hopefully that's a sign of people moving back into the district. You know, you got places like the Vault, you know, starting to take off and trying to revitalize downtown. The cracker plant, you know, WTI is hiring a ton of people. You know, hopefully we can start to turn the page a little bit in the city and bring more people in.
Well, there's a lot of life, a lot of really cool things happening in this community, and it kind of reminds me of the days when I was here doing what I did for 20 years. It was always a night spot, always a place to grab some food and talk sports. And I think also because they don't have the radio doing the games anymore, anything we can do to get the word out or to promote, or maybe even go courtside at a couple of games down the road, I think that'll be that recipe for success moving forward. The more eyes and ears you have on your sport, in this case basketball, long term it's going to go a long way, not just for this generation, Coach, but for future generations.
Oh yeah, I mean any light, you know, spotlight we can get on the program itself is going to be huge, because like I said, the kids deserve it, the program deserves it, and I think this program hasn't been in the light as much as it should. I think it's a special program, it's a special field house. we got a special group of fans, and hopefully we can start to bring more people in.
Yeah, we do want to thank everybody, Troy and Mandy and the crew here at the Vault. Great place to eat and meet and greet. I absolutely love it here. A lot of ambiance. This is a marvel as far as the design of this former bank. It's in the heart of East Liverpool. Fresh on 5th, right next door. Some good stuff there as well. So come on down and celebrate this community and this basketball program. Now, let's talk old school. So I had Dom DeCiccio on last night, who's been at Thomas Jefferson for 20 years. Played at Baldwin, and he was talking about playing Fifth Avenue and Sam Clancy back in the day. Names that may not mean a lot to you because you're a young guy. But what I remember about basketball here in East Liverpool as well, when you had Larry Long and you had Alan Blythe, and I could go through these names, and especially when Mark Douglas and them were doing what they're doing when I first got here, it was a physical brand of basketball. Do you think basketball is still as physical as it once was?
I definitely think it's definitely still has its physicality. I think obviously the evolution of the 3-point line and the 3-point game is changing it because there's not as many people banging in the paint constantly. But I definitely still think the game's still physical for sure. And I think the guards are starting to get more physical maybe than they were back in the day as well. But just the spacing and everything has just totally changed that concept of physicality because the game's more spread out than it used to be when everyone was in the paint.
Drew Dawson, part of that great True North brand filming. Put the camera on the Derringers real quick. That's the dynamic duo that was as physical could be. Even if it was a concrete wall, nothing would stop those guys. We're going to talk some sports with them in just a little bit. Big football game coming up on Monday night. New Orleans, the national championship, and a lot of history because of Lou Holtz, the Upper Ohio Valley Hall of Fame. Lou Holtz, Peter Dawson, all of those folks here. Of course, this is Mr. Holtz's hometown. And you're going to stick around and talk some sports with us as well. But this program, this is when it really gets interesting because you can't help but start peeking into that crystal ball and looking at the postseason. But you got to keep your feet firmly planted on the court and realize what you have to deal with right now. And being on the road as much as you're going to be, you have to stay locked in right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously any road trip is a time to really lock in, but especially now more than ever. We don't play at home again until February 7th.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Just the way the schedule fell, some cancellations and stuff. But honestly, it's going to be a good test for us. I think as of late we got a little comfortable, so we have a great test tomorrow night in Big Red, and then we go right Tuesday night. We go right to Mooney, which is going to be another good test.
Wow.
Excuse me. We turn right back around. Thursday night and play at Beaver Local. Big rival game, and then Saturday. So next week's a 3-day work week. We got Mooney's Beaver Local, and then Saturday we have St. Clairsville in our revenge game for the Buckeye 8 championship. So we're going to get some good tests here over the next week, and I'm excited to see how the kids respond.
Listen, I know over the last decade I've been visiting Wellsville and Beaver Local and Oakland. My schedule has just become crunch time, very difficult, but maybe somehow, some way, I can maybe sneak in a few appearances before the entire season is up. But next year I'll do a little bit more pre-planning so I can figure it out. But much love to all of those schools who've always been so good to me. Before I let you go, the thing that I think that you have to be impressed with is how this team has played as a unit. You being a first-year head coach, everybody just trying to figure it out. But you guys have been on the same blueprint from day one, and that's a blue and white as an East Liverpool blueprint.
Yeah, I'm super thankful for that. I think the kids have responded really well to the change. I mean, even though I've been a part of the program and a part of their lives for as long as I have, it's still different having someone being the head coach for sure. And the kids have really rallied around me. They've rallied together, and I mean, as far as spreading the wealth and being on the same page, I mean, we got 3 kids averaging double digits, 2 or 3 of them that are flirting with that, that 9 to 10 mark. We keep playing together, and we start improving on the things that we need to improve on, the small things. I mean, I think we could be dangerous.
Sounds good. All right, listen, we're going to come back and span the globe as far as the wide world of sports. A lot to get to. Big NFL divisional round weekend, and of course that college football matchup that everybody's going to be watching. And there are some Ohio State fans in this community as well too. So stay with us. We're at the beautiful The Vault in East Liverpool.